Republican Senators Mike Lee and Tom Tillis also testing positive for COVID-19. Both are on the Senate Judiciary Committee, prompting some to question whether Judge Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing for the Supreme Court should proceed. Senator Lindsey Graham pushing back against Democrats, tweeting, quote, "I feel fine and look forward to the hearing for Judge Amy Coney Barrett on October 12th. Any senator who wants to participate virtually will be allowed to do so." For more on the political fallout this could cause, we turn to Brad Blakeman, former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush and advisor to the Bush-Cheney campaign, and Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State under President Obama and President of the Washington Strategy Group. Those are long titles, gentlemen. Brad, this is an unexpected twist. It could get even uglier as far as the president's condition and the senator's condition, and now the opposition that is already there and growing to the hearings being held before the election.
We got to stay true to the Constitution, Rick. We've got to do that which the Constitution calls for, and that's when there's a vacancy, the president must fill it, and then the Senate must do their job in either confirming or not confirming. The Democrats are going to try every trick in the book to try and have the confirmation scuttled. It's not going to happen. My prediction is that the president will have his nominee confirmed by the Senate before the election. Democrats can go kicking and screaming. They don't have the votes. She is a more than qualified candidate, and the president is just doing his duty and being true to the Constitution.
Joel, Democrats were already loudly opposed to holding these confirmation hearings before the election, and now perhaps they have more ammunition to wait.
Yeah, Rick, I mean, the rush is all about taking away Americans' health care. That's really what's going on here. There's a case coming before the Supreme Court a week after the election. The Republicans want the ninth justice on to take away the individual mandate, thus taking away health care from 20 million Americans. And think about this. This means in the midst of a pandemic, taking away health care from Americans. There are now 7 million Americans who are newly infected, are newly now having pre-existing conditions because of COVID, Donald Trump being one of them. Should they not get health care? I just think the priorities are all out of whack. Calm it down. Let's get through the election. Let's get the priorities taken care of, like funding to ensure our economy doesn't go completely in the tank, making sure people have enough unemployment insurance, and making sure that people have health care in the midst of a pandemic. And that's why this is so bizarre to see such a push. Even with two members on the Judiciary Committee, Senators Lee and Tillis, now being sick, still going forward, it just doesn't seem to make any sense, and it seems very dangerous to American health.
Brad, I already know you're going to tell us that this has nothing to do with health care, and that if the Democrats were in control of the Senate, they would not wait if they had a Democratic president in the White House. You bet.
Look, Joel can use his scare tactics all he wants. I know it's close to Halloween, but you can't scare.
It's not a scare tactic.
You don't know
Brad.
what she's going to do. You don't know what Justice.
That's what Donald Trump has said is his litmus test.
Well, you know what? There is no litmus test, and Donald Trump has said he never discussed health care with Judge Barrett. So, I mean, you can scare the American people all you want. The fact of the matter is, Obamacare is an abysmal failure. By Joe Biden's own admission, it must be changed to a single-payer health care system. This was the ruse all along, and Joe Biden was complicit in duping the American people on health care. So, you know, Joel, if you were in our shoes, you would fill the seat. You know it, and I know it, and the American people know it.
Well, Joel, Brad, I'm curious. I'm curious if you think that there is a strategy here, there is a way for Democrats to delay this now. Do you believe that they actually have an avenue because of the coronavirus?
Well, poll after poll says that 20% plus more Americans think that this nomination should wait until after the election. The public pressure is real. Americans like health care. Americans voted for Democrats in 2018 largely because of our position on health care. So at their political peril, the Republicans are going to jam this through the system. They have a constitutional right, as Brad says. I'm not going to disagree, but that is not the way we should be running our country. That policy on health care that President Trump says he wants to eliminate, he has no replacement for health care. What are we going to do with the 20 million Americans that lose health care in the midst of a pandemic while President Trump
We're going to provide better health care.
That you've had
Well,
years
that's what we're
to
gonna
come
do.
up with a policy, and that hasn't happened yet.
Brad, I'm wondering if you would think, or you would admit that perhaps trying to push this through with senators who are sick at home in bed might smell a bit of desperation.
No, the Constitution must go forward. We've been through tougher times than this. General George Washington didn't give up in the Revolution when his troops came down with smallpox. What did he do?
Comparing independence to taking
he didn't
away
stop what he was
healthcare
doing.
is
He
not
didn't give up.
appropriate, Brad.
He didn't give.
That is
he didn't
not
give
appropriate.
up. No, it is absolutely appropriate.
When are we
And
going
have
to care
stay
about
true to the
Americans' health?
Constitution, and Joe, we care every day about America's health, and the best
Then
thing for
put
the
forward a
health
plan
of our
that
country
helps protect Americans.
is to have the health to protect our Constitution and
The
hold
health
up
of
those values,
people in
not
this country.
hijack them like Democrats want to do.
That
Stop your
is
healthcare
your
nonsense.
not. There
Nobody
is no
believes it.
policy. There is no policy replacement for the current healthcare system being proposed by President Trump, and that is dangerous in the midst of a pandemic.
Well, we will have to wait and see, gentlemen, whether this actually does occur before the election. But again, they are hoping to hold hearings in just a couple of weeks. Thanks very much for being with us, both Brad and Joel.